did you initially want to do this sales management masterclass?
Well, that was pretty easy. I started out getting to know Brad a long time ago, kind of researching his books, and I had been to a couple of his teachings. I was excited about it. So when I read about this, I think I must have got an email from Brad originally, but when I read about what was involved with it, I thought, what a perfect time, especially during COVID, to try this thing out.
Oh, good. Okay.
And it was more than I expected, actually. I got to give you credit there.
Brad, you impressed me. It was better than I thought it was going to
be. Yeah, that sounded horrible, didn't it?
Yeah, they laughed, they cried. It was better than cats.
No, that's awesome.
I expected the teachings to be what I found in the books and what I'd heard from before, but I actually thought the class played out better, and it was from a different point of view for us too. So I think we were in a group of largely jewelers, but to hear slightly different perspectives from different people was a great thing for us. And I like the homework and that kind of substance in it also.
As a pawn dealer, were you opened up to more opportunities to increase the sales end of your business?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Not only new ideas, but it put us on track to start using a system where we can see what's happening and what needs to be improved in.
The pawn industry, they sell money and merchandise, and there's actually 5 different revenue streams. And I think that it's given him the opportunity to grow the business on most all of those revenue streams.
You had a manager in it, right? In the class?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think there was 3 or 4 of us that were there.
What have you seen in terms of productivity or accountability from them after taking the class?
Well, it's definitely increased. The class itself was something that we enrolled the managers in after Brad had already been to visit the store several times. And so I think for us a lot, this was a better way for them to have a good reminder as to what they're supposed to be doing, if nothing else, but a refresher course. And on top of that, it helped them understand how to help their team do the same. It's a management type course more than what we've learned before in the past for the techniques.
Yeah.
So it sort of buttoned it all up together in one thing for the managers is what happened.
Have there been any particular techniques, like, for example, closing ratio analysis or any types of metrics that you've been very pleased to see that now they're paying attention to?
Yeah, well, I would say the CRAs, the closing analysis. And look, I'm not going to kid you. It's been something long and hard for us to get done. Like most of everybody else, we have some turnover here these days. But there was a little bit of pushback at first from the team about how much time it took to do it and whether or not it was something that would have real value to us. But even the ones that were complaining about it or maybe not sure how this was going to work out at first have come around now. They realize that when they can actually see the numbers, it's hard data, and they can focus on the areas that they're weak in, things become much simpler for them, and it's easier to earn money for that matter. So I would say out of everything, that's the best one.
Nice. Yeah, the closing ratio.
Yeah, the interview and techniques, and I mean, look, this has been a long process for us. But again, this class is something that introduced these things, and for us, repeat has always reminded us to stay on it and gives us a tool to use going forward for doing that kind of thing. And yes, the interview process and techniques that we learned from the class have been huge for us these days. I mean, in more ways than I could probably tell you here, almost overnight between that and the CRAs. And
could you quantify any type of business growth in terms of a percentage?
In general, I would say our numbers are easily 15 to 20% up since we started having Brad come on board and mentor us with what's happening here, including the class.
Okay.
That's an easy number to say too. Remember, we came right out of COVID with this, and it really got us sort of kick-started back on the right track. Remember, we started before COVID was over. Between the add-ons and the non-negotiables, that was something that I had always realized as a business owner how important they were. But in reference to the team, I think they focused on the core items. If it didn't sell itself, sometimes it was harder to do. After being mentored by Brad and having him show the team how this all works and comes together, the numbers really hit home and started making sense. They get it now. The add-ons are crucial for them. They focus on it, and we continue to focus on that. Yeah, I'm telling you, we just weren't focused on the low-hanging fruit and the details that we could have been in the past.
Well, do you have any advice for other friends in the business that may be thinking about taking the class?
Yeah, I do. I wish I had gone with you guys earlier. It's something that I think we felt like we couldn't afford at first. I can't say more about it, honestly. It paid for itself easily. I recommend that what you do is get on board and take the course, learn what they've got to say, and then continue to have updates and check-ins from these folks on a regular basis, once or twice a year, just to keep tuned up.